What's up guys, welcome back to another video. As you guys have already seen on the thumbnail, we'll be installing my 50-inch light bar on my Hilux. Couple of things we'll be running through today is obviously mounting the light bar. I'm going to be mounting it on the roof racks of the Hilux, and the wiring harness that I've bought to help so I don't have to do my own wiring and everything makes it easy to wire it up to your high beams and have a switch, and making a couple of brackets to mount to my roof racks. This is the Steady Smart harness that I've purchased. Obviously I got it online. It's the dual output wiring loom. I stuffed up, I was supposed to get the single output, but that's no worries. I'll just tape one up or zip tie one away and just run one up to where I'm going to mount it. I've got my 50-inch light bar here. This light bar was off Facebook Marketplace. I bought it for $80 and it's retail price you can get them from Snake Racing. It's Rigid USA. They retail for about $1,700, so I would never spend that much money on a light bar. I personally like Spotties better, but I haven't got around to buying Spotties just yet, so this was a pretty cheap light bar that popped up, so I thought I'd jump on that, and yeah, we'll get on to installing it for you guys. So this is where I'm going to be running the wire up. I've got this one here. This just runs over the top of my car to my, well, pretty much reverse camping lights. I installed them. I should have ran all the wire underneath the car and everything, but I've got to take that off now because this is where the wiring will run up to the light bar, which will go across that roof rack there. Sorry about any wind noise or anything. Hopefully there's none. I've got the neighbour mowing again. It's been raining for a couple of days, so it's pretty much mower weekend. Yeah, so here we've got your relay. I've got my relays just here for everything that I've got, my grill lights and whip light and all that. They're all here, so I'm just gonna obviously mount this one next to these. I might make up a little aluminium bracket instead of drilling heaps of holes in my sidewall. Just put them on the aluminium bracket to prevent a little bit of rust, or so many holes rusting if they ever do. So yeah, you got your relay, you got your positive and negative wiring, and then you got your fuse on your positive wire. So obviously just run them to the positive and negative of the battery. Mine's on the passenger side of the vehicle. And then yeah, you've got your switch. This is your switch cable here. So this just comes with a little pretty cheap on-off switch. They're not very fancy. Obviously lights up red. It's a little red switch. So I'm gonna replace that once I get it through the car into my dash. I'm gonna replace it with a proper OEM light bar switch that looks neat for the Toyotas. And yeah, pretty much these two wires here, as I mentioned at the start of the video, this pack that I got is for 2 light bars or 2 Spotties or whatever. It's a dual connection, so I'm gonna obviously wrap one up and zip tie and tape it in here with my other wiring, so I'm only going to use one. I guess it's not a problem. I can, if I ever want to get rid of the light bar, which I probably will when I get Spotties, I can reuse this wiring harness for that, even though I do want Steady Spotties, so they do come with the wiring harness. But anyway, I made a mistake, but it's still gonna work. So yeah, these ones here will run obviously up my windshield to the roof rack, and then you've got this white connector here, which you pick this taps into your high beam. So you pretty much unplug your high beams connector, tap into it with this, connect to that, and then connect this to the wiring harness and run your wiring for your lights, if that makes sense. It's pretty easy guys, if you ever get one. It's super simple, you just gotta lay it out and stuff, and yeah, Anyway, we'll get to it. I'll start mounting this up. So I just quickly made up this stainless steel bracket. I didn't have any aluminium left, so just had this left over from the bull bar install. They tried making up some dodgy brackets because they didn't send the proper brackets for the bull bar, so I had a bunch of stainless left over. So I just made it out of that. So I'll just mount this here and mount all my relays to it, and then get going on running all the wiring for the light bar. Now that I've done this bracket up, now I've got all my relays mounted neatly here. I've got all my wiring kind of just sitting here. It's a bit of a mess, but I'll sort it out one day. I'm gonna leave the negative disconnected for now, just while I play around and run everything. Just try to be as safe as possible. So yeah, I'll leave that disconnected. So now we've got the relay mounted and the positive ran. All that we're going to have left is the two wires that are going to be running, well, the one wire in my case is going to be running to the light bar, and then the other one's just going to get wrapped up here with the rest of the wiring if I want to run anything later. I could always run another light bar down the front and they'll both switch on at the same time, but I'll just leave one down there for now. And then I've got the switch wire which I'll run through the firewall here where all the rest of them are, run them through there and hook it up to a switch inside. So yeah, I'll get on doing that. I'll run that one in, and then we'll have to use these piggyback adapters to tap into the high beam switch, and that's where we'll get our lights turned on from flicking our high beams on and off. Any of you that have watched my previous wiring or anything to do with lighting or electrical or whatever with my Hilux, you guys know that I love this stuff. It's the yellow tongue stuff. You can buy it from Bunnings. I've mentioned it before. This stuff's just great. Instead of trying to jam all the wires through the little grommets with your fingers and cutting your fingers up and stuff, you just jam this through, and then you take your, in my case, taking the switch off, the wires are just there. So I tape this wire to the yellow tongue and then just pull it through from inside the cab, and it makes it so much easier, guys. So if you want to make your life easy, go get this stuff. It's only like a couple of bucks for a length of it, and yeah, it makes life so much easier, guys. There you go, it's that easy. Right, so I was going to mount the switch for the light bar just down here so I don't bump it or anything. Well, I thought that at the start, but I decided, once I already got halfway through wiring up that, I decided to move it over here where all the rest of them are. I've got my reverse lights here, all the idle up. I've got the whip light and the grill lights, they're just plain Nava switches. And then I got the LED light bar one here. I decided to go here because I've already got all the ignition wire, which is the blue one, to light up the switch. So I moved it over here, that way I've got everything there. And yeah, just ran it down here. I still got to tuck the wires up neat. Just ran it from over there over the other side and then back through the firewall. Righto guys, so now the switch is done, pretty much everything is done. All that I have to do now is run the wire up in between the pillar and the windscreen up to where I'm going to mount the light bar. I've got to do the light bar brackets and everything, mount all that up, and then just plug it in and she should be right.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't need no
pretty
space.
much it. I've ran the wire up here I just got to silicone it in and make it a bit neater up there, but I won't show that to you guys. You know how to, so you know what silicone looks like. One other thing, so I forgot to get lock nuts for these, so I'm gonna have to, and I've got to chop these off, chop the rest off. So I've got to go get lock nuts, which will probably be tomorrow. It'll last till then, and then I'll chop these off flush with the top. But that's pretty much the bracket I made, so it just comes off my roof rack over there. So there's one each side, and that just sits the light bar that come off that little bracket onto that. I put 2 bolts back here just to make sure it doesn't sag down anymore, but it's pretty sturdy there, guys. So yeah, that's it there, and then I've just got these, the Deutsch plug there, so I'll just tidy them up later. But yeah, so that pretty much sums up this video. Yeah, that's the steady wiring harness and wiring up a light bar to my roof on the Hilux. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. And I've got a few more exciting videos coming up. Next one will be involving the welder, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Bit of protection coming, and yeah. And if you wanted to see this, guys, so I recently made this. So I've got the Sigweld, was it the 185 welder, MIG welder, and then I've got the 205 AC/DC TIG welder, which I've been practicing on some aluminium to get a bit better, and maybe make a tray later on down the track. But anyway, that's my trolley I made up just with the MIG welder, so it sits in both and sits 2 gas bottles on the back there. So yeah, that's about it. See you in the next one.